Hello students, welcome to the online session of Database Management System. In today's session, we are going to study about relationship concept in entity relationship model, types of relationship and mapping cardinality. In last video, we have already studied basics of entity relationship model and why entity relationship model is used in a database management system. Okay. The learning objectives of today's session are, after learning this particular session, students will be able to describe the types of relationships in a ER model, and students will be able to create ER model to represent relationships among different entities. So first we'll start with some basic terminologies of relationship. We know relationship is nothing but an association between two or more than two entities. When we say one entity is related to another entity, it means that they share some common association, they share some common relationship. Okay, so first concept is degree of relationship. Degree means number of entities participating in a relationship is called as degree of relationship. Okay, for example, if two entities are there here, teacher and coach, these two entities are participating in one relationship, and teachers is a relationship between these two entities. That is, teacher is teaching some course or course is taught by some teacher. Okay, here in teachers relationship, two entity sets, teacher and coach, are participating. Okay, that's why the degree of this relationship is 2. Here two entity sets are participating in a single relationship, that's why the degree of relationship is 2. Okay, so based on the number of entities participating in a relationship, we have different categories of degree: unary relationship, binary relationship, ternary relationship, and n-ary relationship. Okay, in each of these relationships, the number of participating entities are different. Okay, on the basis of number of participating entities, these categories are decided. Okay, so one by one we'll see each of the category in detail. So first type of degree relationship category is unary relationship. In unary relationship, only one entity set participates in a relationship, that is, it has degree 1. Okay, only one entity set participates in a relationship, that is unary relationship. For example, one employee entity is there which consists of information about all employees, and those employees are working on different designations. Okay, now suppose some employees are worker and another employees are managers. So workers are reporting to managers. When we say employee A is a worker and employee B is a manager, employee A is reporting to manager B. Okay, but since their designations are different, they are belonging to same entity set, that is employee. Okay, A is a worker, B is a manager. Okay, designations are different, but both are belonging to same entity set, that is employee. So when we say one employee is reporting to another employee, it means that both are belonging to same entity sets. Means participating entity set is single, that's why it is a unary relationship. We have another example, that is subject and prerequisite for that subject. One subject may be a prerequisite for another subject, that's why here only one entity set is participating in a relationship. So it is a unary type of relationship. Okay, then we have binary relationship. Now, as the name suggests, binary means a thing which consists of two entities. Okay, so when two entity sets participate in a single relationship, then it is called as binary type of relationship, and this relationship has degree 2. So here simple example is given. Customer entity is there and product entity is there. So customer orders some product, or product is ordered by any customer. So two entities, customer and product, are participating, are sharing a single relationship, that is orders. That's why the degree of this relationship is 2, and it is called as binary relationship. Now next is ternary relationship. Now you got the concept of relationship. So ternary relationship means when three entity sets are participating in a relationship, it is called as ternary relationship, and it has degree 3. Now let's take one example. Teacher entity is there, department entity is there, and course entity is there. Okay, so teacher teaches some course, or course belongs to teacher. Okay, so this is one relationship between this teacher and course entity. Or teacher belongs to department, department has some teacher, or course belongs to department, department has course. This is the relationship. Means through this single relationship, three entities can communicate with each other, or three entities are associated with each other. That's why it is called as ternary relationship. See, you can give any name to your entity set. Here, as I have given teacher, department and course, you can give any name, and you can give any name to your relationship. Here I have given belongs to name to my relationship, but while giving name to any entity, while giving name to any attribute, any relationship, be careful that that entity or that relationship reflects some meaning. Okay, reflects the meaning of relationship. Then let's take another example of student, library and book. Now all these three entity sets are associated with each other by using has relationship. That is, student has some book, or books are issued by student, or books are kept in a library, or student goes to the library to issue some book. Okay, so this is how these three entities are connected, are associated with each other by using has relationship, or by using a single relationship. That's why the degree is 3 and the type of relationship is ternary relationship. Then next is n-ary relationship. Now, if the number of entity sets participating in a relationships are more than 3, or n number of entities are participating in a relationship, then it is called as n-ary relationship. Okay, so n-ary relationship may contain 4 entity sets, 5 entity sets, 6 entity sets, or n number of entity sets, and it has degree n. That is, if relationship contains 4 entity sets, then the degree of relationship will be 4. If it has 5 entity sets, then the degree will be 5. Okay, so that is n-ary relationship. Let's take one example for n-ary relationship. Here I have 4 entities: doctor, medicine, patient and disease, and all these 4 entities are related, are associated with each other by using prescribed relationship. Okay, see, doctor prescribe medicine to patient. Okay, doctor prescribe medicine to patient for some disease. Okay, so this is how we can have relationship among all 4 entities by using a single relationship, that is prescribed. Okay, so this is called as n-ary relationship with degree 4, where 4 entity sets are participating in a single relationship. Okay, so but while representing this n-ary relationship, it is very complex to convert this type of relationship into any other model for physical implementation. See, this ER model, or whatever entity sets we show diagrammatically, this is a logical representation or conceptual representation. We cannot use this for the representation purpose, or to store data, or to store attribute. If we want to store data, if we want to store attribute, then we need to convert this logical or conceptual representation into physical implementation. So whenever we have such a n-ary type of relationship, it is very complex to convert these type of relationship into actual or into physical implementation. So these type of relationships are very complex and rare. Okay, they are not frequently used to represent any type of relationship. The next concept is mapping cardinality. So cardinality is what? Maximum number of times an instance in one entity set can relate to instances of another entity set is called as cardinality. Okay, see, there are 4 types of cardinality. 1-to-1 cardinality is there. In this type of cardinality, one entity set in each entity set participate only once in a relationship. For example, in simple language, if two entity sets are there, A and B, and suppose we want to show one-to-one mapping cardinality, we have two entity set A and B. It means that if we say there is a one-to-one mapping cardinality, then only one entity in set A is associated with only one entity in set B, and vice versa is also true. Means one entity in set A is associated with one entity in set B. Similarly, one entity in set B is associated with only one entity in set A. Let's take one example. Person entity is there and Aadhaar card entity is there. Okay. Now we know that one person is having only one Aadhaar card, and one Aadhaar card is one Aadhaar card belongs to only one person only. Okay. So here person and Aadhaar card, these two entities are sharing one-to-one mapping cardinality. Okay. One person is having one Aadhaar card and one Aadhaar card belongs to single person only. So one-to-one cardinality is there. And see, cardinality is shown by the number which is given on the connecting links of relationship. Here a relationship is a has relationship, that is person has one Aadhaar card, one person has one Aadhaar card, and one Aadhaar card belongs to one person only. Okay, that's why one here written on the connecting links of relationship. It is one-to-one relationship. Another example is capital entity and country entity. Now see, one country has only one capital, and one capital belongs to one country only. Okay, so when we say Delhi is the capital of India, and India is a country which is having only one capital. Okay, so this is how one-to-one relationship can be shown. Okay, see, this is the diagrammatic representation of relationship. When we say two entity sets are sharing one-to-one relationship, then one number is written on the connecting lines of that relationship. Okay, and in terms of set, this relationship can be represented as given in a figure. At the right side, you can see the figure showing relationship in one-to-one relationship in terms of set. Okay, see, first set, that is P1, P2, P3, P4. This is the entity set for person entity, for example. Then third set, that is A1, A2, A3, A4. This is the entity set for Aadhaar card. Okay, so person entity is having four persons, Aadhaar card entity is having four Aadhaar cards, and this middle entity set, this middle oval shape is used to represent the relationship. That is, by using R1, R2, R3, R4, by using these relationships, persons are related to Aadhaar card. Okay, so see, here you can see P1 is having relationship R1 with Aadhaar card A2. P2 is having relationship R2 with Aadhaar card A1. Similarly, P3 relationship is R3 and it is connected to Aadhaar card number A3. Okay, see, one-to-one connection is there, no sharing. Okay, one person is having only one Aadhaar card and one Aadhaar card belongs to only one person. Okay, so this is how one-to-one mapping cardinality can be shown. Next type of relationship is many-to-one relationship or mapping cardinality. In this type of cardinality, more than one entity in any entity set are associated with a single entity in another entity set, more to one. Okay. For example, if we have two sets A and B, then more than one entity in set A are associated with only one entity in set B. Means many entity in one set are associated with single entity in another set. For example, if we have two entity sets, student and department, then many students are enrolled in one department. Okay, so see, any student can enroll in one department only. Okay, so many students are enrolled in one department and one department has many students. So many students in student entity set are associated with single department in department entity set. Okay, that's why it is many to one mapping cardinality. And here on the connecting lines of relationship you can see the numbers. Since many students are participating in relationship, that's why M is written here for student and relationship connecting lines. And since one department is participating for any student in relationship, that's why one is written over here on the connecting lines of relationship and department entity. Okay, another example is many states belongs to single country and single country has many states. Okay, that's why M and 1 is written over here on the connecting lines of relationship for each of the entity sets. Okay, another example is many books are kept in library and kept in one library, and one library is having many books. Okay, so this is how many to one relationship or many to one mapping cardinality can be represented. Here many books in book entity set are participating in a relationship and they are kept in a single library. Okay, and at the right side you can see the figure by using set how many to one mapping cardinality can be represented. Here first oval shape or the first entity set, that is S1, S2, S3, S4, they are used to show the entities in student entity set. Then the third oval shape, that is D1, D2, these are the names of two departments. D1 is one department and D2 is one department, another department. And here the middle oval shape, that is R1, R2, R3, R4, these are the relationships. So S1 student is enrolled in D1 department by using relationship R1. Okay. Similarly, S2 student is enrolled in D2 department by using relationship R2. Okay, if you carefully look at this figure, then you will come to know that student S1 and S4, that is many entity, more than one entity in entity set student, are enrolled in department D1, that is in single entity in entity set department. Similarly, two students, that is S2 and S3, many entities in entity set student belongs to department D2, that is to single entity in entity set department. Okay, so this is how many to one entity or mapping cardinality can be shown. The next type of mapping cardinality is one to many. It is opposite to many to one mapping cardinality. Here, one entity in entity set is associated with many entities in another entity set. Opposite to many to one. If we have two entity sets A and B, then one entity in set A is associated with many entities in set B. For example, one college is there and many teachers are there. Okay, so many teachers are working in a single college, or college is having many teachers. So one to many, one to M relationship is there. Then another mapping cardinality is company and employees. Okay, one company has many employees and many employees belong to one company. Okay, so here one and M is written. Since employees are many, that's why on the connecting lines of relationship M is written. Company is one, that is single entity, that's why on the connecting lines of relationship one is written. Okay, and in the figure you can see how relationship can be, or how one to many mapping cardinality can be shown by using using these sets. So this first oval shape is nothing but a single entity, that is suppose college is there C1 C2, or company is there C1 C2. Then middle entity set is or middle oval shape is used to represent relationship, and the last entity set is used to represent entities in either teachers or in employees. Okay, so many employees are working in single company, or many teachers are working in single college. One to many. Okay, the next type of relationship is many to many relationship. Now, as name suggests, in this type of cardinality, Many entities in one entity set are associated with many entities in another entity set. For example, many entities in set A are associated with many entities in set B. Okay, let's take one example. Teacher entity is there and course entity is there. Okay, so many teaches many course, and many course are taught by many teachers. See, one teacher can teach more than one course, and one course can be taught by more than one teacher. Okay, so this is how many to many relationship can be represented. Here many teachers are participating in a relationship, that's why on connecting lines M is written. Many courses are participating in a relationship, that's why on connecting lines N is written. M and N both stands for many. Okay. Another example, student and book, two entities are there and issue is a relationship. One student can issue many books and one book can be issued by many students. Okay, that's why many to many relationship is here. And using set, it can be represented by the diagram given at the right side. Many teachers T1, T2, T3, relationship R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, and many courses C1, C2, C3. Here, if you carefully look at the relationship, teacher T1 is teaching course C1, okay, and teacher T1 is also teaching course C2. Then course C1 is taught by teacher T1 and course C1 is also taught by teacher T3. Okay, means one entity, that is one entity T1 belongs to many courses and one course belongs to many teachers. And similarly, teacher T1 is teaching C2 and C2 is also taught by teacher T1 and T2. Okay, so this is how many to many mapping cardinality can be shown. Then next is participation constraint. Okay, participation constraint is used to show participation of entity set in a relationship. Means how entity set is participating in a relationship. Total participation is there. Total participation means each entity in an entity set is involved in a relationship, and it is denoted by double lines. Okay, and partial participation is there. Partial participation means not all entities in one entity set are involved in a relationship, and it is shown by single line. Okay, see, we'll see one example for this. Customer entity is there and product entity is there. Okay, see, customer is having total participation in a order relationship and product is having partial participation in a order relationship. Now what does it mean? Customer is having total participation means all customers are involved in a relationship because all customers have ordered some products, but not all products are ordered by customer. That's why there is a partial participation of product entity. See, if we have 10 customers in a customer entity, then all 10 customers are ordering some products. And if we have 10 products in a product entity set, then we cannot say that all products are ordered by customer. Some products may be unordered. Okay, that's why product is having partial participation and customer is having total participation. Total participation is denoted by double lines and partial participation is denoted by single line. Another example, customer entity set is there and loan entity set is there, and these two are connected by using relationship borrow. Okay, see, customer borrowed some loan. Okay, loan is having total participation, that is if we have 10 loan numbers, then all those loan numbers are having some customer IDs. Okay, means loan is totally participating. But if we say 10 customers are there, if we say 10 persons are having account in a bank, 10 customers are there for any bank, then we cannot say that all 10 customers, all 10 persons are having loan in a bank. Some of them may not have loan in a bank. Suppose 10 customers are there who have account in a bank, and out of 10 only 7 customers are having loan, means 3 customers are not having loan in a bank, means 3 customers are not participating in a relationship. That's why from customer side there is a partial participation. But when we say 10 loan numbers are there, all 10 loan numbers are having some customer ID, or all 10 numbers are having customer name. That's why loan is having total participation. Okay, so this is participation constraint in ER model. Then next is here student and book, two entities are there. Okay, now see, if you carefully look at the figure, then you will come to know that both student and book, both entities are having partial participation. Okay, there is no total participation for any of the entities, because not all student issue book and not all books are issued by student. Suppose 50 students are there in class, and out of 50 students only 30 students have issued book from a library, means 20 students are not participating in a relationship. Similarly, if 100 books are there in library, and out of 100 books only 60 books are issued by students, means 40 books are not participating in a relationship because they are not issued by student. That's why book is also having partial participation in a relationship. Okay, so this is total participation and partial participation. Well, when all entities are participating in a relationship, then it is called as total participation, and when some entities, few entities are participating in a relationship, then it is called as partial participation. Okay, now we'll see ER diagram for hospital management system. Okay, now we'll see how to draw ER diagram for any database management system. So first is hospital management system. Here in hospital management system, I have one entity, that is doctor. So doctor entity has attribute doctor ID, which is a primary key, doctor name, specialization and salary. Okay, these are the attribute of doctor entity. Doctor name is a composite type of attribute which is divided into two components, first name and last name. Okay, then we have another entity, that is patient. Patient entity has attribute patient ID, which is a primary key, that's why it is underlined. Then patient name is there, disease attribute is there, address attribute and admit date. That is the patient, that is the date on which patient is admitted or patient is reported in a hospital. Okay, then patient name is again composite type of attribute. It has two components, first name and last name. And these two entities, doctor and patient, are related to each other by using relationship traits. That is, one doctor treats patient and patients are treated by doctor. Okay, so see here mapping cardinality are one to many. Okay, one doctor treats many patients are treated by one doctor. Okay, that's why one to many patients are there. Oh, sorry, one to many associationship or relationship is there. Okay, between doctor and patient entity. Then third entity is there called hospital. Hospital entity has attribute hospital ID, which is the primary key, hospital name and city. And here phone number is a multi-valued attribute, that's why it is given in a double ellipse. And doctor hospital shares one relationship, that is works in. Doctor works in hospital. Okay, it is many to one relationship from doctor to hospital. Many doctors, that is n number of doctors, work in one hospital. That's why n and 1 is written over here. And this works in relationship has one descriptive attribute, that is joining date. Doctor work in hospital and joining date is given for that relationship. That is, doctor has joined hospital at the given joining date in a relationship. Okay, says joining date can be attached to doctor also, or we can attach this joining date attribute to relationship also. When we attach this attribute to doctor, then it will be a simple attribute, and when we attach this attribute to a relationship, then it will be a descriptive attribute which is used to describe relationship. Okay, similarly, we have another relationship between hospital and patient entity, which is admitted in. Patient admitted in hospital. Okay, here it also shares many to one relationship, that is many patients are admitted in one hospital. Okay, that's why n and 1 is written over here. Okay, now see here, this admit date attribute which is attached to patient entity, this attribute can also be attached to admitted in relationship, similarly as joining date which is attached to works in relationship. When we attach admit date to patient entity, so it will be a simple attribute, and when we attach this admit date to admitted in relationship, then it will be a descriptive attribute. Okay, so this is how we can draw hospital management system entity relationship diagram. See, whenever you want to draw entity relationship diagram for any database management system, first you need to think about the entities that are participating in a database system. Now here, if I want to draw hospital management system diagram, then doctor entity will be there, patient entity will be there, and hospital entity will be there. Okay, these are the compulsory entities that are participating in a database management system. Many other entities are there, but we are not showing that entities here. Okay, now after identifying entities, you think about the attributes for each of the entity. When we say doctor entity is there, then that doctor entity will have doctor ID, name, specialization, and salary. These are the common attributes. So attach that attribute to the doctor entity. When we say hospital entity there, then that hospital will have some registration number, that is hospital ID. That hospital is having some name, hospital is located in a city, hospital is having a contact number. So all these may be a common attribute for any hospital. So write down, attach those attributes to the hospital entity. When we say patient is there, then patient will have patient ID. Okay, or the number. Then patient is having name, patient is having the type of disease, it is having a name, address. Okay, so all these are the common attribute for patient. So write down those attributes for the patient entity, and then think about the relationship or the association through which all these entities can be related to each other. Okay, so this is how we can draw entity relationship diagram for any of the management systems. Let's take another example for bank management system. First, we'll think about the entity. In bank management system, we have customer who have account in a bank. So, customer is having attribute customer ID, which is a primary key, customer name, contact number, and date of birth. Here, customer name is again a composite type of attribute, so it is divided into first name and last name. Then we have another attribute, that is age. Now see, age is represented by dashed ellipse because it is a derived type of attribute. If we don't know, don't know the age of any customer, then we can calculate that age by using date of birth. Okay, so that's why it is shown by dashed ellipse. Then we have another entity, that is account. Customer is having account in a bank. Okay, so account entity has attribute account number, which is a primary key, account type, and balance. Here account type is a composite attribute. So when we say account type, then that account may be either of type saving or of type current. Okay, then customer and account, these two entity sets are sharing relationship has, that is customer has account in a bank. One customer may have many accounts. Okay, and many accounts may be related to one customer. Okay, so one to many relationship is there between customer and account entity set. Then this has relationship has opening date as a descriptive attribute. Customer has opened account to given opening date in a bank. That's why opening date, this attribute is connected to relationship and it is called as descriptive attribute. Then we have third entity, that is bank entity. Bank entity has attribute branch ID, which is a primary key, branch name, city, and phone number, which is a multi-valued attribute. And bank and account, these entity sets share one common relationship, that is maintained by account, maintained by bank. Okay, so one bank is maintaining many accounts, or many accounts are maintained by one bank. That's why one to many relationship is there. Okay, and here in customer and bank, here in these two entity sets, we can have an indirect relationship, like customer has account in a bank maintained by one bank. Customer has account maintained by one bank. This is an indirect relationship. That's why we have not shown a direct relationship between customer and bank entity. Okay, so this is how we can draw entity relationship diagram for bank management system. You can draw entity relationship diagram for college management system, for library management system, for company management system, and so on, by using same strategy. Okay. Then see, this doctor entity is there, which is having some attribute, that is doctor ID, doctor name, specialization, and salary. Patient entity, which is having some attribute. Okay, we have already saw these entities in a hospital management system. Now we'll see how to convert this relationship into tables. See, when we say doctor is related to patient, or patient is treated by some doctor, means these two entity sets are sharing some relationship. So when we want to convert this relationship into diagram, into tables, or into relational model, we want some common attribute, which is called as a foreign key. But when we draw entity relationship diagram, we never shows foreign keys. We never draw common attribute among the entities. So here we can have two tables. One is doctor table, which consists of doctor ID, doctor name, specialization, and salary. Okay, so these are all the attributes that we have shown in a diagram. Then come to the patient table. We have patient ID, patient name, admit date, disease, and address. These all are the attributes of patient shown in a diagram. Okay, but here patient table is having one additional attribute, that is doctor ID, and that doctor ID attribute is a common attribute between doctor table and patient table, which is used to show treat relationship between these two tables. This relationship, which is shown in a diagram, treats relationship, can be maintained in both the table by using common attribute doctor ID. Okay, so this is how we can convert entity relationship diagram into tables. Okay, see, common attribute or foreign key is not represented in ER diagram. We need to show it while physical implementation of that ER diagram. We need to show it while creating tables. Okay, then we'll see what are the disadvantages of ER model. First advantages of ER model. First advantages, it is very easy to show database in a graphical representation by using ER model. Okay, then it is easy to convert logical ER model into physical database implementation by using any data model. Means we can easily convert ER model into relational model, or we can easily convert ER model into any other data model for physical implementation. Then ER model is a effective communication tool for database designer. By drawing ER model, by showing your database graphically into ER model, we can easily communicate our need, we can easily communicate our data requirement to the database designer. Then disadvantages of ER model are there are no industry standard notation for developing ER model. Some information like referential integrity constraint, as I have already told you that we cannot show foreign key in ER model, so these referential integrity constraints are hidden in ER model. Then by using ER model, we can show only limited types of relationships. We cannot show more complex relationship like n-ary relationship. Okay, it is not feasible to show these type of relationships by using ER model. And data manipulation cannot be shown. We can show only structure of database. We cannot show how data can be manipulated by using ER model. So this is all about relationship concepts in ER model. In today's session, we have studied what is the degree of relationship, what are the mapping cardinality, how to draw entity relationship diagram for any database management system, and how to convert entity relationship diagram into relational model. Okay, so this is all about today's session. Thank you.